The Edmonton Oilers have defeated the Vancouver Canucks. Final score 5-3, and they've officially punched their ticket to the playoffs. Good game. Good game. Fun to watch. Fairly entertaining. And yeah, let's get into it. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time tonight, folks. I'm going to try and go through this as fast as possible. That's also mainly because I recorded a 26.5-minute video covering the Ottawa Senators. I don't know how I made it 26.5 minutes long, but that's up over on my podcast channel if you want to watch it. Let's get into this game. Going into it, not a lot of lineup changes to talk about. As a matter of fact, we kept the top line the same. Now McLeod's back down onto the third line. The second line of Cahoon, Nuge, and Yamamoto's reunited. They were really good tonight. Shore is out for Ennis, and Haas is out for Kara, and Mikko Koskinen starts. There's your lineup card. We get into the first period, and not long in, we get our first goal. 4 minutes in, Connor McDavid is along the wall in a bit of a battle, and he ends up winning it, poking the puck out. Leon Draisaitl then ends up getting the puck from it. He kind of just gets poked onto his stick. McDavid ends up getting into the slot like 3 seconds later. I don't know how. I did not even see. I literally blinked and he was in the slot. Draisaitl feeds him the puck. He says, you know what? I'm a nice guy. Over to Jesse Puljujarvi. He shoots it on net. It's 1-0 for the Edmonton Oilers. It's a Jesse Puljujarvi goal. How can I not be happy? 1-0 for the Oilers. And then from there, we kind of get into a bit of a drier spell in the game. The only other note I have, I have 2 more notes for the first period. Nurse hits the bar, and the Oilers playing really well through the middle part of this period. Darnell Nurse, I think it was, just ringed a shot right off the crossbar. And then later in the period, with 7 minutes to go, Nate Schmidt just kind of gets the puck on a bit of a drop-back play in the offensive zone, snipes it on net, and we kind of screen Koskinen, and it goes in, and it's a 1-1 hockey game. Listen, the shot was not like in an incredible place. The shot was in a place where you wish Koskinen would have stopped it, but he had people in front of him. He had Kara and a Canuck, both in front of him screening him, so I understand why he couldn't get it. So it's 1-1 heading into the second period. It wouldn't be like that for long once we got there. 18 seconds into the second period. What a shocker. McDavid's name's on here. A McDavid shot bounces off the goalie, I think it was. Yeah, McDavid takes a shot. It bounces off. Yes, he just kind of gets a poke on it, kind of moves it forward. Tyson Barrie, he's jumped up in the zone, jumped up in the rush, gets right there, snipes it on net. It's now 2-1. Beautiful goal, and McDavid on the board again. Another multi-point night for McDavid, and his night does not get any less ridiculous, believe me. Hughes then takes a tripping call. Nothing ends up coming from the power play. However, the Oilers did have good pressure. Archibald then takes a tripping call not long after. It ends up getting killed off. And then, with about 3 minutes left to go, the Canucks end up having a neutral zone turnover. And this was probably the worst goal against the Canucks tonight, just because not only was it a neutral zone turnover, it's also the way it went in. Neutral zone turnover. Connor McDavid happens to get it. I don't know if you knew this. Connor McDavid, he's a good hockey player. He's kind of good at the whole hockey thing. And he ends up just getting it, skating in the zone, throwing it on the net, and ooh, it goes in. Braden Holtby should have had that puck. It's 3-1 for the Oilers. Not for long, though, because a minute later, it's a bit of a play in the neutral zone, fairly chippy. Ends up being that Miller gets the puck right on his stick. McLeod tried to poke it away from the defensive zone out, but he ended up just poking it right to Miller. Miller ends up walking in. Beautiful move by him, and he ends up backhanding it in the net. And now the lead's cut back down to 1. I want to hate it, because it's a bit of a breakdown. However, I look at the people involved in it, and I don't know how mad I can get. Like Ryan McLeod, this is his 5th NHL game. And he's still young. And honestly, in his game so far, I haven't been able to find a mistake he's made that's been costly. Rookie players tend to make costly mistakes every now and then, especially in their first few games. Ryan McLeod made a bit of a mistake here, where he just kind of pokes it away to JT Miller, and then from there, it's JT Miller. What's anyone supposed to do about it? This guy is incredible. And you think Mikko Koskinen is stopping a shot with any level of skill involved? To be fair, he was really put in an unfair situation, but I'm still going to rag on him as much as I can. It's a 3-2 lead for the Oilers still, even though it's been cut down. Not long after that, though, with 44 seconds left in the first, we had an early late 44 seconds left in the second. We had an early second goal, and now we're having a late second goal. With 44 seconds left, it is a beautiful play from the second line, who I will talk about in the end of the video. Yamamoto drives into the zone. He passes it over to Nugent Hopkins, who they kind of cross and meet at an intersection in almost like an X pattern. Yamamoto just kind of gives it to him. Nuge takes a second, gives it to Kulikov, who flings it over to Cahoon. One-timer on net. It's 4-2. I love the play. I love the passing. Kulikov, I think that's his first point as an Oiler. 4-2 lead. And then we go into the third, and not a lot happens. I write down here that Nuge has been great tonight. Easily his best game of the year. That line has been awesome. Yeah, that line was good. Nothing crazy in the third. A 10-1 shot advantage for the Oilers with 6 minutes left to go. But then, 2.5 minutes after that, with 3.5 minutes left to go in the period, off the draw, the Oilers lose it in the defensive zone. Brock Boeser gets the puck. We know what's happening, right? Snipe. What a shot from Brock Boeser. And again, it's a situation where we're kind of screening our own goalie. This time, not intentionally. It's not like we were intending to set up this way. It was right off a draw, and not enough time for Kulikov or Yamamoto to move anywhere. They both end up standing in front of Koskinen. It goes in, and it's now 4-3. But the Canucks then pull the goalie, and then not long after, Connor McDavid scores again, an empty net goal this time. 5-3 win for the Edmonton Oilers. They clinch a playoff spot, which, let's face it, it wasn't really in question that they were going to make it. We all knew they were going to make it. Does it feel very relieving to know that they're in? It does. It does take some pressure off. Now you know you're in, and you also look at the teams below you, and you just kind of look at them, and you're like, yeah, we're the second best team in this division. You can try out some new things. That's why Dave Tippett was so willing to try McLeod on the second line. I wonder if Evan Bouchard gets into another game this year. Just as an example of things you could do just to experiment a bit, let some guys get in, give some guys some rest. But yeah, like, it's good to be in. Now let's get on to the actual players in the game. We'll start with Mikko Koskinen. Meh. I mean, listen. It's the performances we've been getting out of him are honestly miraculous. With how he played at the beginning of the year, even with the fact he was tired, I don't know how he did not lose his job at that point. Dave Tippett had faith in him. He came back. He's played better ever since. He still doesn't have my trust. I don't want him in there in a playoff game. But he's serviceable as a backup now. When it comes to the goaltending situation, I've been saying this before, and I'll say it again. Are we ever going to see Alex Stalock actually be in a game? I mean, he's just kind of been sitting there for the longest time now, and we've just chosen, not to use him. I wonder if we ever will use him, if I'm being honest. But yeah, goaltending-wise, it was alright. Defensively, there were a couple mishaps tonight. Kulikov was caught standing around a couple too many times for my liking. But other than that, I liked what they did. Then we get to the offensive group. The bottom six did their job tonight. I really liked the look of the forward core. Over the past stretch of games, they've looked really good, especially the bottom six. And the bottom six haven't even been scoring everything. The bottom six have just been doing what they need to do. They go out there, they show a bit of energy, they muck around a little bit in the corners, get some possession time, and make sure, for the most part, the puck doesn't go in their net. Ryan McLeod, even with the mistake tonight, I've really liked his game, and now he's starting to show up a bit more in the offensive zone. No points, no big highlights yet, but you can already start to see he's gaining a little bit more confidence in his abilities in that offensive zone. And that's really good to see. I do think that when you look at the third line center position for the Oilers, Ryan McLeod might have earned it. And I think that if he can play well over the next stretch of games, it's his. It's his to lose. Just, you look at the options that are there, right? Who can you put in that spot? Well, I don't know where Kyle Turris is. I don't trust Gotten Haas enough. I've liked his game, but I don't trust it enough. Same thing with Jujhar Khaira. He's wildly inconsistent. I don't have a problem with him. He's just inconsistent for what the third line needs. I look at that third line, and I look at the center position. No one has gotten me happier about the third line since, other than Ryan McLeod. That third line has been the best this year, really, when Ryan McLeod's been on it. Other than the few games where Khaira, Shore, and Archibald, I want to say it was, went off and had a really good performance on the third line. Other than that, McLeod has been the best third line center that we've had. And then we get to Connor McDavid. Actually, let me start off by talking about Jesse Puljujärvi, and then Draisaitl, and then McDavid. Puljujärvi, great tonight. Scoring goals, getting involved. I think he had 2 points on the night. He's great. Leon Draisaitl did Leon Draisaitl things tonight. And when he's doing Leon Draisaitl things, you're good. And finally, holy hell, how is this guy one guy? How is this a hockey player with that much just being him? Connor McDavid, you thought 3-point nights were good? Look at this idiot. He thought that a 3-point night was good. 4. This man now sits at 91 points with 6 games left in the schedule. He needs to perform at his worst rate of the season. He needs to play like Connor McDavid on a low point to hit 100. He will most likely hit 100 points this season. And are we really surprised? If there was going to be a guy to do it, it was going to be him. You know, like last year, Leon Draisaitl was the main scorer on the team last year. He had more points than anybody else. And he was great. This year, Connor McDavid has shown why you don't count out Connor McDavid. And I think he's going to win the Art Ross. There's no way he doesn't. He's going to win the Ted Lindsay, and he's going to win the Hart. Those 2 awards are his explicitly to lose. Like, and I don't even think he can. He can't even lose them. He's won them. They're his. Get the plaque ready now. There's no way anyone else is being voted on. He's ridiculous, and honestly, I've heard other people say it like this. Connor McDavid is a man on a mission, and I think that mission does not just mean these 56 games. I look at Connor, I look at how he's played, and I look how most of the time when he scores, he's not even happy. This isn't a man that cares about scoring titles. We can sit here and care about all we want. He cares about winning a cup. And is this year the year? Probably not. I'm a realist here. I'm not going to say we're going to wipe the floor with Toronto. Hell, I'm scared about the possibility that now Montreal might hop up into third. Do you know how bad that would be for this team? Of course, of all the teams we could have played in the second round, in the first round, we get to play Montreal, the team that's killed us all year long, if we're being honest, and then turn us into a toy. Turn us into a rag doll for them. Imagine we have to play them, and then we somehow beat them and play the Leafs, right? Yeah. But we're going to have to see about that. But honestly, Connor looks possessed. And we're going to see what lengths he will go to win a cup or try to win a cup this year. We're going to have to see. I'm so interested and invested in this. I really want to see what he can do. I'm going to leave it there for tonight, folks. I want to thank you all for watching this video. What did you think of the game? Did you watch it at all, or are you just here as a random person? In which case, hi. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time, and goodbye for now.